G'day everyone, it's someone else here today. What I thought I'd do is just show you the loadout for my motorcycle camping stuff again. I've upgraded a few bits and pieces and had a bit of a change around since the last video. The purpose of my loadout is, this is my single person loadout, and as I upgrade bits and pieces I get more space, more room, and I can downsize the bags. And so my ultimate objective is to get as much equipment as possible, or much things that I need on the bike to do my motorcycle camping in as small a space as possible and a lightweight space as possible. So I've shown much of this before, so a lot of it hasn't really changed all that much. Start off with the two things that kind of like the elephant in the room is my hiking sticks. And you think, what do I need these for, hiking sticks? Well, I take these primarily if I'm doing a base camp from the motorcycle thing. I still like to do a little bit of hiking, day walking and things, so these are useful. But also I'm using these are Mountain Smith hiking sticks, and I use these for my tarpaulin. Now I'm in the process of upgrading these, or replacing these for motorcycle camping, with some carbon fibre fold up tarp poles, which probably will weigh about half the weight of these things as well. So so these usually just bolt down on the top, and I use rock straps go over to hold it on. Now this is my SW-Motech bag. If I put the logo around that side, this is my tent bag, and it's basically got a zip on it. So I usually keep it this way up, and you will see that it's got 4 tie downs on it and a handle on the end that makes it really useful. Now in this I keep my motorcycle waterproofs and my Acto tent, which takes up about that much space, and my sleeping mat, and some guy ropes. So I'll just pull these out. Now I'm looking down here, I should be looking at the camera, and this is again another off scripted one. So pillow, see the summit. Motorcycle waterproofs, they're just in a dry bag, stops them when they're wet leaking away everything else. I've got some fluoro guy ropes which I haven't put away properly, that's for the tarpaulin. Some paracord, again for the tarpaulin or anything else I need it for. That's my DD tarp and tent pegs, tarp pegs in there. So you can squeeze this down quite a lot, but I don't need to squish that smaller. And then there's my sleeping mat and thermarest and Acto tent. And so that basically is all my tent material, and that's the bag itself. Folds down quite nicely, so you can put it away. And I also am carrying, usually often, this is my fly rod or spinning rod or sea rod, depending on what I'm using it for. So this just bolts down, and there's a 3-part carbon fibre rod, fishing rod in there. It's quite a lightweight one. Now this bag I've shown before, this is my SW-Motech Drybag 600. It's a 60 litre bag, and this contains pretty much everything. The only thing I usually don't carry when I'm doing overnighters is a toolkit. Usually, this is a small country, and AA works quite well for vehicle repair services, things like that. So on a longer trip, when I'm away for maybe 2 or 3 nights or a week or something like that, I will actually take a small tool roll, and that will go in here, but I haven't got it in at the moment. It's not so important. But on this bag, so this bag has been absolutely brilliant for me using it. It is waterproof. and you know, and it basically does everything I want it to. Only drawback is it's slightly too big for the motorcycle. So my motorcycle was probably about here somewhere in terms of width. So if I have this loaded with a lot of stuff, heavy stuff in it, it sort of like drapes down over the side. Now on long trips when I've got the saddlebags on, I don't have a problem because it just sits nicely on the saddlebags. But on short trips when I've just got the bag, it sort of like drapes off, everything falls into one end, and then it starts to slide off the side of the bag. But negatives aside, everything else is just absolutely brilliant about it. It has these straps which I've put on just for showing it. I'm not sure you can see that in the camera, let me just check. Okay, so it has these straps and these just clip off. At one end there's a little loop which you put through the frame on the bike and then push this through and then pull it tight, and then you just clip it on there and then cinch that down. You do all four of these and that just basically holds it on the bike. So when you want to take it off the bike, what I do is I untie the rather than just clip them off, I untie that end, and that stops me accidentally leaving the straps on the bike and having them get tangled where they shouldn't be getting tangled. That's a habit side of things. It's got a nice handle piece on it, so you can just pick it up and that just pulls apart. And it also has a strap that you can put on and use it as a shoulder strap. So that's pretty good. And then it's got the cinch things in the middle for pulling it down. These are just clips. And again on the end for tying the roll down. And then it just opens. So there's a little bit of Velcro there and a little bit of Velcro there. You put it together and you roll it down. And the trick is to not load it up so you can't roll it down at least once. Because this is what kind of really makes it waterproof. And I'll usually put it on the bike so that the seam is facing backwards to the back of the bike, so that way rain coming on it doesn't squirrel its way in. Most waterproof equipment that I've used generally isn't waterproof, especially on a motorcycle, and this goes back to my dispatching days. Unless you've got a layer of rubber somewhere in your clothing, like this kind of stuff, it's not going to be waterproof. I don't know how motorcycle equipment testers test their products. They certainly don't use dispatch riders to do it. But you know, we were riding in snow, rain, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. And you know when your kit's good or not. So the purpose of this video is really just, I've got a new replacement for this. Now, I was going to order a 40 litre or 35 litre bag for small day trips, and so I was rummaging around and found that an alternative bag for that purpose. So what I've done is I've stuck it inside here just to give this bag an idea of size. So hopefully I can get this out properly, because it was quite an easy fit. So this is my replacement bag, and just put that over there out of the way. So I was going to go for the smaller SW-Motech bag, but I've got a problem for my usage scenario. I also have a canoe and I needed a canoe bag, and so I needed something that was relatively waterproof but not 100%, and I could carry when I'm carrying the canoe, portaging the canoe, and just chuck it in there and have easy access to it. So I was in the camping shop the other day and I came across this Osprey 65 litre bag. It's got a brand name on it somewhere. Transporter 65, so it is apparently 65 litres, but as you can see I've had it inside the 60 litre bag, and but it's actually, I've only had a couple of days and I've done a couple of shakedown rides on it, but it actually fits the purpose of what I need on the motorcycle stuff. So camping side stuff, it's got a shoulder strap on it which is adjustable and removable, so from both ends, but I'll only do one. So a little metal clip here and then just a plastic loop, and there's a loop in both corners for the strap to go on. So I'm going to take that off. The other thing that it's got is a zip lock on the end, so I can put keys and map and various other bits and pieces, notebook and everything in there for when I'm doing my motorcycle logs and things. And also in here somewhere down this end there are, in the hood, some backpack straps, and these just go down, and there's some ties on the bottom, so they just come down and they're adjustable with a chest strap and everything. So that is why it sort of like turns into a good portage bag, because I can just put my stuff on it and put it on my back before I lift the canoe up, and then die of a heart attack because a 35-45 kg canoe with a 15 kg bag is a heavy weight to lift all in one go. But there's an intent there. I wouldn't call this 100% waterproof bag. Now I suspect it probably would be, but from a motorcycle point of view and the wind pressure, it's got this flap here, and there's no Velcro, so I might put some on and just get it to hold down. So what will probably happen is that, and I'm not sure about the waterproofness of this zip, but if you get rain coming in underneath this, it's going to push down inside it. Now for me this isn't a problem, because I put everything into dry bags or water resistant bags, so it doesn't really matter if the bag fills up with water or rain or something like that. The contents are still going to be dry. There's two handles either side that makes this really good. I use these as tie down points, and there's two handles front and back here as well. So, and there's nothing, there's a little bit of padding on the bottom, and there's nothing else on it. Now the other thing that makes it really good is there's these two little straps here. There's two on the front and there's two on the back, and they make it good tie down points as well. And then on the end where the zip is, there's a label, name tag, luggage, badge place. So, and again here there are two more loops for tying things down. So the lid itself, it's got two little clips on it next to where the strap goes on, and I just pull those out and clip them down. So they're really non-adjustable, but they serve the purpose for what they're for. And then it's a dual way zip, so down that side, and I suspect, doesn't say the brand of the zip, but it's a very good one. So that comes down that way, and then that just folds over. So the bag comes in this case, so it's squishable down, and it just basically goes into this case and is about that thick. And if it wasn't raining or summertime, that would make a good clothes case separately. So I just put that in there just to show you the packing case. So transporter, duffel, 65 litres, so that's what it's called. So in here I've got my fishing kit and my things, so that's fly, salt water and spinning kit, and my reel in there, and that goes with the fishing rod, which is over there somewhere. I've got my puffer jacket, so that goes in there for sitting around the campfire at night. I've got my medical kit, So that's my medical kit. There's tourniquet and sling bandages and pressure bandages and wound sealers and everything in there. And then my possibles kit with my compass, and that's got my water filtration, fire kits, notebook, and my bushcraft notebook, and a whole ton of other little bits and pieces. So jet boil, we're in a fire ban season, so we can't use fires, and there's some tie down straps inside it. If I haven't pointed those out, you haven't noticed them, so they are inside the pack and they just go across and you can cinch things down. There's my food bag, and I put a couple of homemade dehydrated meals that I make in there just to size it out. So this is just to show you not exactly what I carry, but effectively the kind of volume that I'm looking at. This is my wash kit, so there's a towel in there and soaps and toothbrush and shaving equipment and all of that goes in there. There's my sleeping bag. It's down to 0 it says, and I've had this for years and years and years. Mountain equipment, Marathon 300 I think it says. So I very seldom use this at this time of the year. It's just there for additional warmth if I need it. I've got a smaller one which is I found in a $5 store type thing, and that would do, but this fits in the bag and it works. There's my little aluminium table. What's missing here is my fold-up chair. That would usually go under the bag, or I've got a little deck chair thing that's about ye big that I can sit in. And here, this is some Eagle Creek bags, and this is just a spare change of clothes. So I've got a sweater, a t-shirt and pants and socks and everything in there. And if I had some thermals, they would probably fit in here as well. And that's, you know, what I would wear at night time. So, but usually night time it's just t-shirt, underwear and socks. So that will go there, and then the last thing that's inside the bag is my woolly blanket, which is this time of year what I actually use. Now, woolly blanket, I can roll it up this way and stick it in the side, and everything still fits, but I've just found that rolling it flat does the job, fits it in there, and it seems to be just the right width and depth and everything to get everything else in. So I'll stick that there. Probably can't see it on the camera, and that leaves the internal of the bag, and that's really all it is. There's he says, just noticing it, there's a mesh pocket down one end with a zipper on it, so I'm not sure if you can see that, but there it is. And there's not much else on the inside, just the reinforcing band where everything is zipped in around here, and that's the bag. So so that solved a problem for multiple tasks, which is why I didn't get the SW-Motech bag. Yes, that could have also worked in the canoe, and it could also work in other purposes, but this was just around the same price mark, and it was in the store, whereas the SW-Motech bag I'd have to order from overseas. But I probably still will get another SW-Motech bag as well, just to, so I've got the kind of the range. But yes, this is basically my setup. So the whole thing with water, so 2 litres of water will also go in here, so it's another 2 kg. Roughly speaking, I'm looking at around 10 to 15 kg of weight all up in equipment. I'll show it on the bike. I'll load it back up and put it on the bike with the water in it just to add the weight. It goes 2 ways on the bike. It can go that way down, and I've got a little back pack rack on the bike, and it goes up against that on the passenger seat. What I found is that they sort of like push out, and it pushes me forward on the bike and off the balance point, which is kind of annoying. So what I have discovered I can do with this one, because it's quite thin, I can actually put it up this way, so it's facing towards the back of the bike if I'm on the back of the bike, and it sits quite narrowly. And instead of putting the tent bag on the top, I put the tent bag on the back of the pack rack and zip it down on that way. So I'll load this back up, I'll put it on the bike, and then I'll take the camera around and show you everything on the bike. Okay, so I've just got this on the tripod, so hopefully the sunlight doesn't blur everything, but this is the bike loaded up, and you can see that I've just used the straps that clip onto the SW-Motech bag. They just bolt onto the frame. A bit of flare there on the screen. So, and then I've just used my rock straps to put everything else on, and you can see there. That's it with the bag in the side up configuration. What I'll do is I'll just swap it over and put it in the flat configuration. But you can see here on the King Queen seat on the Triumph that I've got a bit of a space and a little bit of a backrest. So here you can see the newer configuration. So this is the more stacked up version. It's the same tie down points on the front, and I've just basically, the tent bag is strapped on using the rock straps, and here around the back you can see everything strapped on, and I've left the parcel rack clear, but I could actually put the SW-Motech bag on the tent bag on the parcel rack if I wanted to. But what I find myself when I'm in this configuration, what I end up doing is shoving my back forward to push the pack back against the bar. So one of the mods I might make is I might remove that rack and just put a backrest, passenger backrest, small parcel rack on it one day, and that will mean that I can lose the pannier rails, which aren't on the bike at the moment. So I do put them on occasionally. But yeah, so that's how the bike sits up, with my tent and camping gear on the top, and everything else, basically the luxury items and the cooker in the bottom. If I was ultralight, realistically, what I would probably take is just the tarpaulin and my thermarest, a bivy bag, and my cooker, and food and water, of course. There's 2 litres of water in that bottom bag. I put it in there, it's in a platypus container, and the whole loadout comes to 18 kilograms with the 2 litres of water, so 2 kilograms of water, 16 kilograms without. So what's that? It's about 32 pounds or something like that, 33 pounds, somewhere around there. So not too heavy, you know, compared to having a pillion on the back. The bike handles quite well, but with the Triumph, you really do have to sit back on that seat to get the balance point. So one of the other mods I'm going to have to do is rise the handlebars and just pull them back about an inch or two, just to give me an ideal balance point. But in terms of motorcycle camping, that's really about it. The other thing that I've done is I've put Metzeler Road Tech 01s on. So I don't know if you can see these so too well. I'm on the tripod, so I'll see if I can zoom in. So they have a really nice tread on them, which allows me to do a little bit of off-roading, pea gravel and things like that. These work really well in the wet. I had them on all through the winter, and so cold weather, but not snow and ice. And I've ridden them on a lot of pea gravel and gravelly surfaces, so they're confidence inspiring,